What's up, everybody? Dirt here with a game review of the new game that's coming out later this week, Skull and Bones, that is based off of the Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft has released this game, and this was obviously the beta I got to play earlier this week for a couple days. And all in all, I think the game was fantastic. In the background here, you're going to see footage of that beta I got to play, and I'll kind of walk through it and summarize what I got to think about it and what I got to see and how the game felt and all my reactions, things like that. Obviously, with a new game and this just being the beta, there was some bugs here and there, as any new game is going to have that developers are coming out with. So be patient with that. Don't criticize it right away. Just have fun with it. And I'll kind of talk about those two, a little bit here and there. One big bug that kind of happened continuously, I don't think that you'll see in this footage, is the online communication where you can chat with other online players. Somebody kept disconnecting, so it kept throwing an error on my screen, and you can kind of see down in the bottom right hand corner, my message has a yellow dot popping up. Every once in a while there'd be a little screen that pops up on the left side that tells me who it is that's trying to communicate with me is disconnected. Obviously I don't think that character or that player was trying to communicate with me all that time. It was just a bug the beta was having, so I'm guessing they'll have that fixed when the game is released. Like I said, I don't know. Obviously we'll find out later this week. So when you initially start the game, you start on an existing pirate ship, a big one that's taking on a fleet of other ships as you're trying to steal from them and get away. And you are your character to start out with, and the customization comes later. But you start on that ship and you progressively try to fight off what you can and try to stay alive for as long as you can. Anyway, so you go through that. It's basically impossible to win because the game wants you to lose. So as you kill ships, more and more just show up till you're eventually surrounded and they sink your ship. So as you start out, you're found by a couple of crewmates and you become the captain of that crew. I think it's just you and two other people essentially, and you're on a little dinghy and you search through the wreckage of that ship, go to a bunch of these little islands, get hints like that. It kind of teaches you how to play the game. One thing to remember with an open world game, when you hit the pause button, the game doesn't stop. So if you hit the pause button, make sure your ship is either stopped or you're pointing in a direction where there's nothing to hit, because you will coast into things and wreck your ship, things like that. So just something to keep in mind. I kept forgetting. And the controls when you start out are kind of hard to figure out if you miss the cues. But once you get the hang of it, it's super easy, super playable, and it's just a lot of fun to start out with. And then once you jump into the game, as you can see in the background footage of the beta, you get to start out with your own crew, and you get to come to the main island where you get to meet a bunch of other characters, do missions, things like that. The customization in the game, I think, is pretty hands down phenomenal to begin with, as the beta showed. There's a lot of people you get to talk to. You get to talk to the refinery, the blacksmith, a couple other people that you can do customization with your ship, clothing, things like that. So all in all, the customization of the game I think is very well thought out. There's a lot of stuff that's going into it, and obviously more once the game drops and later on in the future as the game develops. There will be a bunch of extra stuff added, DLC, things like that. They really did think of quite a bit of things. You can customize your sails, your bow, your actual wood color. You can customize your crew outfits. You can customize your outfit. You can also have pet animals that are your right-hand man on the ship that you'll see later here. I have a little lemur, I believe is what it is. All the customization's great. You kind of get hung up in it when you're customizing your character. And hopefully further down the road there's more to unlock. But just remember that this is all fresh, so there's not an extreme amount, but there's just enough to keep you happy and enough to keep figuring out until they release more. So just keep that in mind and have fun with that part. One thing to also note, when you're interacting with characters on the island, you can choose to do missions for them to go get things to help create objects for you. Like the blacksmith, you have to go get so much metal so you can create your first cannon for your ship so you can defend yourself and also attack. But it also, you can choose what you say, you can choose the paths you go, kind of like the games that are kind of coming out nowadays, kind of like Hogwarts Legacy, and that affects your reputation on the island and with other pirates. So keep that in mind, have fun with it, do what you want, and I'm sure there's a bunch of storylines that'll come off of that. I'm not sure, like I said, because just playing the beta, I only selected what I did. I haven't watched anybody else currently yet, but look more to the future for that. I'm going to be doing some more research on that and whatnot, but hopefully the squad and I can figure that out. They can choose different paths, so we can record that and tell you guys and update you what happens if you do this and that. So that is one cool feature that I thought was super awesome, is that you are the deciding factor on what your pirate's reputation is, how people interact with you, and how you can actually build your legacy on the game. Much like in GTA, the world is a open world concept, so when you hit the pause button, the world does not stop. It keeps revolving. So do remember that if you're out sailing, keep your ship in an area where it is either pointing away from stuff or you've come to a complete stop, because your ship will crash into things and you will damage your ship. Also, with that, you'll see other players like you just saw in the clip that are fighting, and if you decide to pause it mid-battle, you will obviously take damage. You can't defend yourself, and other players, I believe, can come up and mess with you. I don't know, since I didn't have any of my squad members with me on this beta trial to try to interact with my ship while I was in the pause menu, but I have to figure there might be some safe settings like in GTA where you kind of go invisible. Hopefully they've thought of that, but I cannot tell you if they did that or not, as I have not tried that. But we will try that later in the future, maybe make a video showing what happens when you pause, things like that, so keep tuned for that. So there are these islands throughout the map that you can engage with, you can trade with, you can try to loot the islands as well. And by that I mean you can try to engage with them. As you can see, somebody is engaging here, and I tried to help the island out, but I engaged with the wrong ship. When that happens, you do have to watch out, because the island will fight back. They've got arrows, cannons of their own, and they do call in other ships for recruitment. So it becomes you fighting the ship as well as fighting other fleet members that come in to try to defend that. While you are fighting, there is one thing that is a cool feature. If you get close enough to the ships, as you'll see here pretty soon in the clips, you can actually throw over your ropes so your crew can pull the ship closer to you, so you can actually loot the ship a lot easier. That way you're not sinking it and having to go after the loot as it's floating in the water. When you pull it over, you're able to select what loot you want to take in. If you want to take it all, great. If you don't have enough capacity, you can pick and select special items that are going to be on the ship. And with that, you'll be able to keep your cargo down. You also won't have to worry about competing with your stamina, because the heavier your ship is, the more stamina you are going to use. And when your ship does get damaged to the point where you are sunken and destroyed, there is a couple options that happen, as you'll see here in the clip. My ship does get destroyed, I do go down. There's a couple options that pop up. I can go back to the docks for safety. I'm not sure what that does, because I ended up just spending the credits, the in-game credits that you acquire throughout playing, and I respawned right where my ship actually went down. Why I did that is because all that cargo I had on my ship I didn't want to lose. So when you actually respawn in the game, as you'll see, I'm going to go back to my ship and recover everything. So anything that you might have rare on your ship, it's duly noted in your head that when you're out on the sea, be careful, because you can lose those items if you go down. When you do go back to the main island, there is a warehouse you can use, and that you can actually dump your cargo on, so that way you're not carrying as much. So one, you're not a huge prospect out there on the sea that everybody's trying to go after because you're carrying all these rare items. But two, if you do decide you want to go on a battle, it's probably smart to throw everything but your ammunition in the warehouse, so that way you have less going on your ship for weight wise, and you have less to lose when you're out there. Another feature that goes on throughout the game is you can cook raw foods that you find and you acquire throughout the game. What that does is actually increase your stamina, so your crew members are able to fight a lot better, you're able to maneuver a lot easier, and with that you can escape a lot faster. As you can see, this ship that I'm battling tries to escape, so I had to use some of my stamina to catch back up to him. Ships that carry some rare commodities might try to escape a lot faster than other ships, just for the simple fact that it's easier to cut and run and save their loss. So do note that your stamina is a huge factor in this game, and you're going to want to keep that up as much as possible. Another reason for that is Ubisoft did put in storms, and storms do have a major impact throughout the game. And with those, it comes high winds, big waves, so the smaller ships really struggle out there, where the big ships actually have an advantage. So I did see a lot of actual battles taking place out there because the bigger ships were able to gang up on the smaller ships and take advantage of them cutting through the waves. When you do cut through the waves, there is a brace option where your crew members will brace for impact, so you take less damage to your boat, and you're also able to get back and continue on your path a lot quicker than when you do hit that and it stops you dead in your tracks. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're out engaging into the storms, that a lot of people try to take prey on the smaller ships because they do have an advantage with the larger fleets, and they can take you on a lot easier than they can in open waters. Another crucial thing that you'll need to know is that there are repair kits that you can use throughout the game to help your ship when you're in battles taking damage or in the storms taking damage. So you'll want to make sure that you get those put on right away so you can continue to battle or get out of the storm safely and not end up losing your ship to the sea. Since I repaired right after that battle, you can see there's a red segment in my health. I can only repair up to that point. Once you get back to dock and you fully repair your ship, that'll go away so you have full health. So keep that in mind as well, and remember that because when you're out battling, your ship does take permanent damage until you're able to get back to the dock and fully repair and get back on the sea, full health, full recovery, things like that. So don't get stuck out on the sea with a half ship and find that out mid-battle as you're taking on several merchants at once, because that would be a bad thing for you and also the progress of your game, because you might end up losing enough to where you have to permanently dock and not be able to jump back into the sea. I did not experience it that way yet, but I'm assuming from the gameplay that that might actually be an option, because I could see that happening where you can't repair your ship enough. It's just going to send you permanently back to the docking section and you lose everything that was on your ship unless you can get back out there before people pick that up, which, give or take how far away from the docks you are, could be extremely difficult to do. So all in all, would I recommend the game? Yes, hands down, I would recommend this game. I had a great time the few days I got to play it on the beta. You know, like I said, there were some glitches here and there, as there's going to be glitches once the game starts anyways. Just know that in advance. They're working through things. There's going to be updates, and as the game grows, it's just going to get better and better. So the faster you can jump into it, the better you're going to be to beat out the competition and rule the sea. Do I think that it's worth the $100 to pre-order it? I mean, unless you really want to get into it 3 days early and the extra couple levels I think they give you, I don't think it's worth the extra $40 when you could buy the $60 version and just get in the day of. Or, you know, give it a week or two and wait and see what other people say and what other reviews there are to see if you really want to pay for it, because obviously nowadays games have gotten ridiculously expensive, and, you know, do what you can afford. I personally am probably going to be waiting until, I don't know, maybe a week or two after the game has been out. Maybe I'll buy it this weekend after it drops and jump in, because the longer you wait, like I said, the more people are going to build their ships and the stronger they're going to be to overtake you when you're on the sea. The ship that you've seen in this is your second ship you get, and it's not the biggest ship out there. I mean, it gets the job done, but there was definitely bigger ships out there that I was competing with, and that was just 2 days into the beta. So there's people out there that are grinding, and so take that in consideration when you do buy the game. Don't get mad at first. Maybe try to join with somebody that's got the bigger ship so you can learn from them and take traits from them, things like that, and then they can help you grow and you can help them grow as well. So all in all, like I said, I think the game's worth purchasing. Maybe not right away, as far as the $100 release 2 days early, but as far as buying just the normal version, I think hands down this is going to be a fun game. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to be a very popular game, from what I think, and it's also going to be something that you can jump in with your friends and have a lot of fun with, and just kind of some brainless fun. I mean, there is strategy to it, but it could turn into, you know, you could be a run and gun type game for you if you really want to. But I think when you get a squad together, it'll be a lot of fun to rule the sea, do missions, quests, things like that. And I do think that there's a lot that is going to be added to this game to also help benefit. And, you know, graphic wise, I think it's going to get better and better. And I just think that there's so much that's going to be happening to this game with how many years they put into development with it. There can't not be any more going to this game. So I know that Ubisoft's very focused on it, and it's at the forefront. And hopefully they continue to make updates when there is errors and whatnot like that. So like I said, the squad and I will be purchasing the game down the road, hopefully get the whole squad in. But we will be out there on the open seas taking charge. If you guys want to join in, tune in for the live streams or the other videos we'll be posting on it. And if we are live streaming and you want to jump in with us, just throw a comment in there and we'll try to get you in the game with us if we can. It does allow cross-platforming. That is one cool thing that I forgot to mention. So we'll be able to jump around, have fun. Like I said, everybody, be patient with the game. It is obviously open, or a new game. It's going to progressively get better, so just be patient, have fun, and don't criticize it right away. Ubisoft's going to be working out a lot of bugs, as any new game developer or any new game a developer is going to be working with. So tune in for more. If you guys have any questions, comments, comment down below. Let me know what I can do to help, and hopefully we'll see you guys out there on the open seas and catch you on the next one.